Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and this is It Worth My Time? The BBC's version of Dracula that just came out. Welcome, everybody. And let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get into this thing. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com, take a look at the schedule there, and I also have that mirrored on my Facebook page as well. And speaking of Facebook, I've got excuse me, a Facebook group chat which you guys can post on and talk amongst yourselves. Also, I've got a Twitter, I've got an Instagram, I've got a Patreon page. There we go. So, hey, filthy. Oh man, hopefully you're getting better. Uh, you know, uh, yeah. Don't burn your eyes. What's that about? Uh, Let me see what that was about there. Don't burn your eyes out. From what? Baldwin? Yeah. So let me get so I'm gonna do a non-spoiler review first, and then of course I'm going to do a spoiler review. So I'll let you know between the two. So non-spoiler review, is it worth my time? No, it's not, quite honestly. It's 3 episodes, but they're each an hour and a half long, so it's 4.5 hours. And I'm just gonna say this flat out, they needed an editor very, very badly. Moffat, they kind of just let run with it and do what he wanted to do. And there is one great character in it, which I'm not going to tell you guys who for the non-spoiler version, but I will get into it in the spoiler version. There is a good take on a character that Moffat did, but it's wasted pretty much. And Klaus Bang does a great job as Dracula, although uh, near the end there he kind of messes things up just because of the writing. And again, he basically Moffat and his writing partner, they set up some rules early on and they kind of violate those rules as they go through. And it really just doesn't make any sense. That's the reason why. And it's just really long, really, really long and drawn out. So, yeah, save yourself some time, especially if you're a fan of Dracula. There are worse Dracula series out there, like Dracula 2000 with Gerard Butler that's out there. There's some other shit out there too, but this one's not great. Yeah. Hey, Moo Finobi. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that for the non-spoiler version. So, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the shit out of the rest of this stuff. If you have not seen it, go away. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment below in the comment section if you really want to go and see it. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. So, yeah, god damn, man, Moffat. That's all I can say is I know everyone loves Moffat and his writing and stuff like that. Yes, he did go full Moffat. And let's just call it what it is right now. Dolly West is the best thing out of this entire series. She really is, especially when she's playing Agatha Van Helsing, the nun. So I've read the book. I've got the book actually sitting right down here. I was just looking at it. The book is boring, the original Bram Stoker book, because it's told in letters and things like that. The Francis Ford Coppola version actually is fairly spot on. There's some stuff that's changed in it, of course, but it is pretty true to the book and not that bad of a movie, to tell you the truth. Even with Keanu Reeves' early acting, bad acting in it, you can tell Moffat kind of tried making little homages to that and other Dracula stuff within it as well. But the Agatha Van Helsing is the best thing in it, and then he wastes her. And then we spend too much time on the ship. Quite honestly, we spend the entire second episode on the ship. Yeah, and that entire thing of her recounting or him recounting the story of the ship ride when she's actually on it, and yeah, it's very contrived, and you kind of realize what's happening early on, and just you're like, "Ah, fuck, really?" And then the end of the second episode, where they shunt it over to modern day, and that's where everything kind of loses its coherency. Um, so essentially, what he did was what Moffat and his writing partner did was they took the book, they were they kind of did a little bastardized version of it in the beginning. And then instead of the ship actually making it to London like it does in the book, they sink the ship and then fast forward 123 years later to modern times, and then start it all over and then start up the book again in modern times. So when he makes it to London and basically starts fucking with Lucy and Jack and all those characters are still there, they're just modernized for now. And quite honestly, they suck. Even Zoe Helsing sucks. Even though it's the same actress, she sucks, quite honestly. And then Moffat, excuse me, Moffat at the end of the second episode even violates his own rules. So you have the undead. The undead can only be killed by somebody else because, as we saw with Jonathan Harker, he tries to stake himself and he can't do it because someone else needs to stake you for whatever reason. That's how the undead has to die. Yet when Agatha Van Helsing, when the ship blows up and she goes down, she drowns. And I'm like, okay. Yes, vampires are supposed to suck. Yes, I got it. What I was saying there, Demick, Philip A. Demick. Yes. Um, but supposedly she drowns even though she is undead for the most part. Yeah, she was dying and hadn't become the undead yet, but once she dies, she was supposed to come back as the undead. So yeah. And then the whole thing with if you get bitten by Dracula now in this, you immediately are going to become the undead, not if you drink of his blood, which is what's in the book. If you drink of his blood, that's when you become infected with whatever it is, not if you get bit by him. But they change it in this that if you get bit by him, you become infected. So the woman in the Jonathan Harker foundation who ends up waking him up under underwater there, who gets her thumb bitten off, she doesn't become part of the undead even though she's been bitten. So again, violation of this. Zoe isn't becoming part of the undead because supposedly because she had cancer that turned him off and he threw up her blood, but still he bit her. She should have become part of the undead. Lucy did. Lucy became part of the undead. So yeah, it's and then the whole thing with uh him being psychologically averse to sunlight and the cross as well. When you see that Jonathan Harker, the sunlight bouncing off of his cross that reflects on the Dracula actually burns him. Yet when he's in sunlight, when Zoe pulls down the curtains and it doesn't burn him, uh what the fuck? You basically just kind of violated your own rules there. Yeah. And and this was before Zoe actually explained to him that it was all psychological. So how did he burn in the first place, in 1897 and then not in 2020? It just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Exactly. More consistency is overrated. So for that right there, that just kind of blows 4.5 hours out of the water for you. Not to mention the mediocre acting of the people that are supposed to be in the modern era. And yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I wanted to see a spin-off series, to tell you the truth, of Agatha Van Helsing, if anything. I'd rather see Sister Agatha solving mysteries and shit like that, going off into the supernatural, rather than seeing Dracula. And Klaus Bang wasn't bad. He was interesting, but he wasn't you know, that interesting. So yeah, it's not worth your time. It's really not. It's not worth my time. I had a tough time getting through it, to tell you the truth. Um, and then when I got to the end of the second episode, I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then the whole third episode was just bad all the way around. I wanted better from it, and quite honestly, it didn't need to be this long. You could have done it's 1.5 hour episodes each, Joe Greer. So each episode is a movie, essentially. Yeah. So 4.5 hours of this stuff. It really could have been boiled down to 2 hours, maybe even 90 minutes if you really wanted to do it. But it just kept expanding more and more and more. And I mean, granted, I like the captain too from the ship, from yeah, they could have done this episode 2 in 5 minutes exactly, Pen. I liked the captain of the ship, but you didn't need to spend fucking an hour and a half on that thing. It could have been boiled down to an email. Yeah, it could have. It really could have. As Shakespeare said, brevity is the soul of wit. Yeah. Someone needs to tell Moffat that. Point him back to it. Have you seen the Mark Wahlberg Netflix movies trailer? No, I have not, Joker. Yeah. It's probably another rah-rah, USA, USA kind of thing. That's what Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg have been doing when they get together. So I'm not really, yeah. Peter Berg as a director has moved quite a bit away from what I enjoy lately. So, yeah. Not not one of the directors I look for anymore. So, um yeah, I wish I could say, I wish I could recommend this, but yeah, it wasn't great. Yeah, and I agree with you, Penn. Some of the scenes were done totally for the squeamish factor, the fly, the bursting out of the wall. There was a lot of gross moments, gross, if you will, if you haven't seen a lot of horror movies, and just badly done too, though, at the same time. A lot of goo was used, and a lot of playing on fears of things. Actually, the undead kid in the graveyard was actually the creepiest thing, to tell you the truth, for me. I thought that was kind of, you know, well done. And I actually laughed when Dracula said, "Avert your eyes. I have to murder a child," as they say in my country, or as we used to say in I forget, it was in Russia or something like that. Yeah. Avert your eyes. I must murder a child. Uh, that was actually kind of funny in a morbid sort of way. But yeah, um, I still Agatha Van Helsing was the best thing out of that, and I would like to see a series, of course, set in the 1800s, late 1800s, of her going around Budapest and most of Eastern Europe, and just looking at occult stuff and fighting occult things, and seeing what she delved into before she met Dracula. Dad bod Dracula. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, nothing's wrong with the bat dad bod, you know? That's what's supposed to be the in thing now, right? Mhm. Yeah. Um, Again, the thing that could have helped this is to have pared it down quite a bit to like a 2-hour runtime, and to get rid of the fucking they didn't need to move it into modern times, quite honestly. Yes, I know he was thinking about doing it as a regular series. And then also the ending's ambiguous as well. Did he die? Did he not die? I mean, we see them in their minds or whatever, that dream state of them swirling around in fire. So, Yeah, that whole ending was ambiguous as well. It just like I said, the whole thing was just it's kinda shitty. And it wasn't rushed or anything like that either. It was, they took their time on this. It's just they needed to go back to the a few more edits to it, to the script, quite honestly. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen worse too, Pen, but, disappointed in this one, quite honestly. So with that said, um, what else is going on? Tomorrow is going to be the season 2 premiere of Project Blue Book. That's right, that comes back. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm off. Friday is going to be Harley Quinn, episode 9 of Harley Quinn, the spectacular animated Harley Quinn. Saturday is gonna be Saturday Morning Blast Off, and Sunday is going to be Avenue 5. And then, of course, we roll back around again to Monday, and it's gonna be another Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm gonna do as of yet. I might do, Godzilla King of the Monsters. So there we go. I'm surprised you made it through all 3 episodes. I had to force myself to get through it, Pen. I really did. I really did. Yeah, Mufinobi, I'm kind of on the fence about Avenue 5 at the moment. Some of it I liked, and then parts of it are just I didn't like the short half-hour, uh, episode. That's the only thing. Yeah. Godzilla, you're watching that one for sure, huh? I don't know, Morks. You might be disappointed. Yeah. Hey, Viking bitch is here too. Well, of course, she snowed in, so I mean, why wouldn't she be here? Unless she lost power. Yeah. Uh, yeah, watch it, Pen. Why not? Yeah. There's, I won't say, I'm not going to give it away as of yet. I'm not giving out the milk for free before a week beforehand. Yeah. Uh, so there we go. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I got there. No spoilers. No, I'm not spoiling that shit. Marks. I got to build up something. I can't just give it to you now. That's right, Mufinobi. I don't give it up for free. Yeah. So if you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. Also, remember, go to suspendedfanimation.com to see when I'm going to be on live again next. Also, you can go to my Facebook page. I have that same schedule up there. And speaking of Facebook, for those of you who still have it, you can sign up and to the Facebook group chat and post stuff and talk amongst yourselves as well. Let's see. There's Twitter, there's Instagram, and of course, there's a Patreon page. There's no tier set up as of yet, but there will be at some point in time here. There we go. Hi, Chef's Grade, Bithoulkas. What the hell, Mufinobi, are you talking about? I am a classy expensive, and I'm not a hoe. I'm a he whore. There you go. Uh, so again, tomorrow is Project Blue Book Season 2, the premiere of that. Wednesday and Thursday off. Friday, Harley Quinn. Saturday Morning Blast Off. And Sunday, Avenue 5. So there we go. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. Thank you, everybody who joined me tonight in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about signing up, you're going to see the very end of this video. There's a video that pops up here. Basically, what YouTube does, it takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one video in my vast video library, and they pop it up there just for you. Up here is going to be Avenue 5, is what's going to be up there. Yeah. He whore. Friend Masters of the Booty. Thanks. Yeah. Um, oh, you're not going to see me for Project Blue Book, Pen? You're not going to come in for that at all? Project Blue Book's actually a lot. I don't know. Was it Morks or Applecrow? I think Applecrow is the one that's watching Project Blue Book right now. That just started on season one, and was already halfway through the season. So no, that was an Eeyore movie for Nobi. It's a different thing. Oh, Applecrow, you're here. What are you thinking so far of it, Applecrow? Tell me, what do you think before I take off here? What do you think of Project Blue Book so far, season one? I know you mentioned it a bit last night, but now that you're further in, I mean, not looking at it as a historical novel, as a just purely as entertainment. You're enjoying it? Okay, good. Yeah, it's fun. If you don't think of it as something that's historical or anything like that, it's actually good. If you try and say, "Oh, well, they're not sticking to this story or they're not," then you're just gonna go fucking nuts at that point. Yeah, it's supposed to be, you know, fictional, and that's what I'm liking about it. So, with that said, I will see you tomorrow for Project Blue Book season 2. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, Dracula might bite it off for you because he's kind of an asshole that way. See what I did there? Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Stay warm.